Hey guys, it's Aman
and Christina
from Our Rich Journey. Today we are talking about the 5 critical mistakes that is keeping you from building wealth through investing. I mean, these aren't just mistakes. These are flat out lies you are telling yourself. And these lies are keeping you from truly building wealth by investing. And so on today's video, we want to talk about these 5 mistakes. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you will be inspired to stop making excuses and to take action.
So for those of you that don't know our story, we reached financial independence and we retired early before the age of 40. And on this channel, we like to give a lot of information about how to save money, make money, and especially invest money on the road to financial independence so that you can retire too. So when we are talking about these 5 mistakes that people commonly make when it comes to investing, we're trying to give you a roadmap, things that you can follow, things that you can implement as you invest so that you can grow your wealth over time. So let's start off with the first mistake, and that is thinking that you do not have enough money to invest. We talk to a lot of friends, a lot of people that follow us, and we ask them, do you invest? And a lot of people say, I don't invest because I just don't have enough money right now. But that is a huge mistake. You can get started with investing with as little as $1.
So to me, this is the most interesting and most common misconception about investing. The idea that you must have a whole lot of money to start investing. When we tell people they can get started with as little as $1, they always give us these looks of skepticism. But see, the $1 is just the starting point. That $1 can eventually turn into $10, $20, $100 that a person gets started investing with. Because for a lot of people, it is just the act, the exercise of investing that they just need to get started with. But we have a challenge for you. If this is something that you are struggling with, let's present you with this idea. Let's say that you just took 1% of every dollar that you made over the next month and you decided to invest that dollar. And then the next month, you decided to move up that 1% and instead invest 2% of every dollar that you did. And we challenge you to do this every single month for the next year. So after a year, you will be investing 12% of every dollar that you make. This is such a powerful exercise because by the end of the year, you will realize that this act of investing is actually not as painful as you thought it was going to be.
Now, for those of you that are struggling to find that extra money, now is the time to really prioritize investing over consumption. So if you are going out and eating out or buying drinks or shopping frequently, find that extra 1%, reduce some of that discretionary spending that you have, and that 1% can move towards beginning to invest. So let's move on to the second mistake, which is believing that you can save enough money for the future. Now, there is a difference between saving and investing, and some of you may be very good at saving money, but saving money is not going to help build the wealth that you need for the future. And this is because even if you hold so much money in savings, over time, your money is going to lose value because of inflation. Now, instead, if you invest the money that you save, you can outpace inflation and you can grow your money to help build a better future for you in retirement.
You just don't outpace inflation, you kick inflation's butt. Because when you invest, your money is growing through interest, dividends, and capital gains. All of this is compounding to really grow your wealth. And so when people are talking about they have a lifetime of savings, I hope they don't really mean they have saved all of their money in a low-yielding savings account, because that would be a travesty. If instead you spent decades investing that money into the stock market, your money would be growing exponentially.
And this is actually a really important point for people that are also investing. Sometimes people that invest hold too much cash on the side, too much cash in a low yield savings account, even a high yield savings account. When you hold too much cash, you're not allowing that cash to work for you. Again, you really want to focus on building up your investment accounts.
But I think what is at the root of this issue is the misconception that saving is safe and investing is dangerous and risky. I think personally, it is more dangerous to hold money in a savings account when it is being eroded through inflation. On the other hand, if you look at the historical returns of the stock market, a person that invests in the stock market over the long run always makes money. And this has been tested time and time again. A person that leaves their money in the stock market for more than 10 or 20 years, at the end of that period, they have lost no money. In fact, their money has probably exponentially grown. And so understanding this fact is something that will help you make better investment decisions. So this brings us to mistake number 3, the dependency trap. And what we mean by this is that quite often people come to Christina and me and say, will you invest my money for me? If I give you a certain amount of money, will you just invest it for me? And people come to us, they go to financial advisors, they go to whoever they think is successful with money, and they say, will you just invest it for me? And this is what we call the dependency trap. Because let's just think about that for a moment. If you gave me some money to invest, would I have to invest that money for you for the rest of your life? Would you be dependent on me when you're in your 60s and 70s and 80s to be managing your money? This dependency trap is something that is rampant when it comes to people managing their money. They rely so much on financial advisors, they never make the effort to learn how to invest for themselves. And it's so important to learn to invest for yourself because managing your money and investing is a lifetime skill that you must understand how to do.
Yeah, I think the dependency trap is so easy for people to fall into because they don't understand how to invest in the stock market. They think it can be overcomplicated, and sometimes they feel it's just easier to give their money to someone else, like a financial advisor, to help make their decisions about money for them. But if you take some time to just focus on the basics, just focus on the basics of investing in financial literacy, you'll understand that you can actually begin investing for yourself. Focusing on broad index funds or ETFs. These are ways that you can take control of your money and grow your money yourself and not be dependent on someone else to make decisions about your money for you.
Because let's face it, who cares more about your money than you? And this brings us to mistake number 4. And unfortunately, this is a mistake that just seems to take charge of people every single day. And it is chasing the trends. If you have just been seeing what has taken place over the last 3 or 4 years, whether it's NFTs, crypto, hot stocks, people are always jumping from one trend to the next. And they always seem to invest in these trends just a little too late because, like clockwork, whenever they put their money in that investment, those investments seem to crash. And this is something that unfortunately really discourages and holds people back from building wealth. If one day they are investing in this hot topic and that topic crashes, and then they're jumping over to the next hot thing and that thing crashes, their money never really gets a chance to compound, grow, and become real wealth.
So with this mistake, a lot of this has to do with patience, not jumping from one hot thing to the next and really focusing on a solid investment that you can grow over time. Now, here's something about the stock market that a lot of people don't know. In the history of the stock market, money invested for 10 years into the S&P 500 has never lost money. It has always been positive. Meaning that historically, people that have put their money in long term, they have allowed their money to grow over time. Now, the thing about jumping from one hot trend to the next is that you're not allowing your money to stay in. You jump into something, you pull it out, then you jump into the next thing and you pull it out. You're not allowing for compound interest and growth to take place.
So I always like to use the analogy of planting a seed, and that is what investing is about. When you plant that seed, you water that seed, you allow that seedling to grow into a tree that is going to bear fruit. You can live off of that fruit for decades and decades to come. Now imagine if every time you planted a seed, you watered it for a couple of days and then walked away, that seed would never have the opportunity to grow into a tree that you could live off of. Now, think about the people that show up to trends too late, that show up to these investments when these investments are full grown and this investment is already dead on the vine. They have reaped all the benefits of it. You know what I'm talking about. The people that show up to invest in a tree that is already dead and all the fruit have been eaten. These are the people that have invested in crypto at the last minute, NFT at the last minute, or a hot stock or real estate investment when it's too late.
And the last mistake that people have is that sometimes they find a lack of motivation. They can't get motivated to invest. And I think a lot of that is because they want to see these huge returns immediately. But if you can find some motivation for investing, that can get you on the trend where you are consistently investing, where you can see that growth.
And motivation is so important as far as getting started, but it's also really important to keep you invested in the stock market. Now, there is a trick that we use to stay motivated about staying invested in the stock market. And what we usually do is every so often, we take the profits from our investments and we live them up. We enjoy those profits. We will take a vacation with those profits. We have even bought a new car, made down payments on houses, all because of profits. You see, what they usually do is they run investments in the stock market. Whether or not you make a huge profit or a little profit, take that profit so that you can feel what it's like to actually benefit from your investing. Now, we're not saying pull all of your money out, but just take a little bit out and enjoy yourself with it. That feeling will motivate you to continue to build your wealth, because at some point, you might be in a situation like Christina and I are in, where our investments completely fund our lifestyle and especially our luxury. And you know what? I'll give you guys two specific examples of how we have enjoyed the profits from our investments. We have invested in Tesla, and a couple of years ago, when our Tesla stock was just on fire, we decided to take profits from the Tesla stock and buy ourselves an actual Tesla. And that is just amazing to think about, because we are driving a car around that was paid for by the stock from that same company. Another example is recently we sold a great deal of our Nvidia stock because it had gone up substantially. And by the time you watch this video, we are probably going to be somewhere in Bali enjoying ourselves thanks to the profits from that Nvidia investment. Now, we have a ton of examples. I mean, our financial independence. If you look at how we invested in low-cost index funds and ETFs, we are reaping the benefits of those profits by just living off of the interest, dividends, and capital gains from those investments.
So those are the 5 mistakes that we commonly see people making that are preventing them from growing their wealth. Like I said, we're really trying to give you a roadmap for things that you can focus on to help you begin to build wealth so that you can reach financial independence and retire early. We hope these things gave you food for thought, that you can implement them on your investment journey as well. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.